All right. What's up, folks? Trying a different view here on the camera. I'm using the 35 f2 this time, so looks kind of nice. Looks nice and crisp, nice and close. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Got the boy Mark Swan in the house. Got the folks from the Philippines. We got Greece in the house. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning. We got Malaysia, Tennessee. I'm actually going to Tennessee on Monday. I'll be in Chattanooga for a workshop. London in the house. Where in NC are you from? I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, born and raised. Argentina in the house. New York, let's go. Wow, y'all. SF, good old SF. Man, I really wanted to move there, but the pricing of housing and stuff is just, I can't. Connecticut, we got Indonesia, Russia, LA. Man, all you Cali folks, I'd be jealous. I'd be extra jealous. Just the couple times I've been out there, the lighting is just so good. It's so good. I cannot stand it. But let's go ahead and get into this. I got a couple of sessions I need to go ahead and just get done and edit. So we're gonna hang out as per usual and watch me edit. And like I said again, I have a different view here, which I think works better. I kind of like it, except for my stupid light. I need like better shades or something. But are you using natural fills? Yes. So that's the biggest thing about the natural fills too, and that's why I don't have like 50 different like preset packs, is I didn't make the preset to be like, here's a preset that I'm selling. It's literally my preset. I just figured I would sell it because a lot of people said they like the look, so it's literally my look. The only difference with natural feels and what I do is that when I export, I have a second stage where I go into exposure, or exposure X5. It used to be alien skin exposure, but they dropped the alien skin. But I use that, and it throws like the tiniest bit of extra contrast on it, and the sharpening and the grain is just a little different. But other than that, like the tones and colors, you're literally using what I'm using. Like your cut, thanks. Thanks, nice and fresh. Where can I buy them? I think there's, if the bots are working, does that work? Nope. Them things never work. I like can't live stream. I'm not good at live streaming, y'all. I used to hang out and, you know, do the whole Twitch thing. I tried for a while, and yeah, it just didn't work. That link right there, you can check out the preset. So this session was for a bridal shop that's in the area. Not even a bridal shop. They run the biggest bridal expo here in Raleigh. It's like basically the only bridal expo. So yeah, they hit me up and they're like, hey, we're kind of not really rebranding, but you know, they're like, they want to freshen up their look and everything. So they hit me up to do their photos. So they'll be using the stuff on their new website and stuff. I had them cull the photos themselves this time, which I normally don't do. And now I'm editing everything. I need a portrait lens for the Canon Rebel T6. What you think? Get a nifty 50. Good old nifty 50. Cause them things are cheap. Like, I can't remember how much they cost because it's been a while since I've been on the Canon system. But I think it's the 50, what's it, a f1.8 or something? It's a great place to start. You know, it may not be 100% like the best lens in the whole world, but for the price, it's really, really good. Do you always use film simulations? Yes, I think you have to. So I don't, when I edit, I'm just using my own preset, but within the Fuji system, you do have to pick a film simulation. I usually use classic chrome as my settings. The f1.8 is $100 new. I mean, yeah, come on. And it's a great place to start because, again, regardless of your camera, it's the glass that's gonna make the difference. So, you know, you can get a super cheap camera and put some good glass on it and get amazing results. Whereas if you get a super amazing camera and put cheap glass on it, it's not gonna look great. Used for $70, that's a deal. Get up in there. How did you manage to get them all sharp when using the f2? So again, with Fujifilm, since it's a crop sensor, f2 is closer to f4 on full frame. Also, on top of that, you got to remember, like, you know, focus is kind of like a plane of field in a 3D area. So the biggest thing to think about is like where your subjects are. Like, obviously, if one person is here, and you can even see it on my camera, especially because I'm using a 35, like if one person is even slightly in front or behind of the other person, it's gonna mess up the whole thing. So you can shoot wide open, you just have to make sure that everyone is basically in a perfect line, or you're gonna miss focus. So, I mean, they may not be 100% everybody in focus, but it's enough. Like, there's no way. And again, f2 on crop sensor is closer to f4 full frame, so. Which again is another reason why I like those f2 lenses, especially for weddings, because like I don't have to be like, oh, am I stop down enough to make sure things are in focus? And no, I'm just like wide open all day. And it's like, no question, just wide open, here it goes. Hi, I'm struggling with nailing the ring shots with the extension tube and a 50mm 1.8. Any videos coming soon? I could totally do one, because that's what I do. I use an extension tube in the Fuji 56, and that usually does it for me. So I could totally do a video on what to do, and I think I talk about it in my most recent full wedding day video. The biggest thing there, especially with adding an extension tube, is you gotta stop down. You gotta stop way down, because you're like in a weird focal plane now with your lens. So like, usually on my 56, which is a 1.2, I'll stop that thing down to like f4. And usually it's a little bit hard on the light, but it gets everything in focus and it just works better. What camera do you use? So I'm using Fujifilm. I am a Fujifilm ambassador. So I use all Fujifilm. The main cameras I use is the Fujifilm X-T3. But I do also have an X-T4 that I use occasionally. But I tend to use it only for video. not for photo. And then I am from North Carolina. Used to be in New York, but recently moved back home. Do you often use external flashes? I do not. Which is why you see me doing what I'm doing here. Like some fill flash or a reflector would have been awesome. Which I did have a slight reflector. I used like a poster board to help fill them in just a little bit, but a little bit of fill flash would have been much needed in this shot. But with the power of RAW, I can save the shadows just a bit. NC, North Carolina, come on and raise up. You're gonna take your shirt off. I can never stand that song. I feel like your boy just made that thing up random. He's like, yeah, we're gonna take our shirt off and twist them around our heads. Like, who does that? I don't remember doing that. You know what I mean? Like, as I spill coffee, I'm like, great job. I hope y'all didn't see that. Spin like a helicopter, North Carolina. I was like, oh, okay. The multi-city version, yo. And yo, I can't escape that song. So I went to school in Boston, right? And a friend of mine was like, yo, I got tickets to go see Timbaland playing at like a blues shop or something close by. And I was like, yo, dope, Timbaland. This is when Timbaland was popping off, like when every summer was like a Timbaland summer and he was gonna drop all the heat. What was that, like 2004, 5, 6, somewhere in there. So I go to the show, I'm like, this is hype, and then all of a sudden he's like, special guest, and then Pity Pablo comes out, and I'm like, what? And this dude's like, North Carolina. I'm like, bro, we're in Boston. And I'm like, why can I not escape this song? It was the worst. I was like, y'all, please, I know, make it stop. We're in Boston. He didn't even sing like the Boston version. Oh, the multi-city version. I almost forgot about that. Wake County Hospital, nice. Yep, that's right here. America. He was just like trying to make something. He's like, I'm gonna make them do it. It's gonna be awesome. Oh yeah, is my music too loud? I can never tell. What is your opinion about the 10 to 24 millimeter lens for weddings? It does really wide shots, and I'm thinking that it would. So I haven't actually used any of the zoom lenses outside of the. I just recently used the. I can't even remember what it was. 70 to something, 50 to something. It was basically a 24 to 70. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was a 70 to 200. Yeah, the 70 to 150. I'm not gonna front. Using zoom lenses is kind of nice, but I think the 10 to 24 would be awesome, especially if you ever find yourself needing more space, like that length to be able to get so wide. I've been thinking about picking one up actually for video because I just need wider lenses and I need some zooms, because prime in video, it's a whole thing. Almost done with these photos. The real question is if I should in Photoshop try and get rid of some of this like random stuff on the side. Can you give any suggestions on finding mentors in photography in the social media age? That is a good question. And I think one of the hardest things about finding mentors too is like finding someone who legitimately wants to help others, because that's very hard to find. And like obviously not everyone's gonna find a free mentor. Not everyone has like all the time in the world, so that's another thing too. Like, you may or may not have to pay. Usually some type of mutually beneficial relationship is the best place to find mentors, but that's hard. Like, you have to find someone who's currently in need or something. Like, again, with my mentor, he was looking for associates basically in the New York area when I was still up there. So that's kind of like a mutually beneficial relationship. Like, I'm doing weddings for him and his team. I'm a part of the team, and you know, I'm also getting mentored. It's very hard to find those situations, and they don't just kind of like, they really don't come out of nowhere. Other than that, I would say, you know, just really reach out to people and try not to just find anybody, like, because some people just aren't going to treat you right, you know? They're not going to have your best interest in mind, so. What were you doing with the masks? Oh, I am painting on shadow save. So you can see it here, kind of, without the mask on. I just turned the mask on so I can kind of see it. I'm just shadow saving just a little bit, because again, they're backlit in this photo, so the shadows on them is just a little too heavy. So just a little bit to brighten them up. Again, that's one thing we forget. Obviously, if you can do it in the real world, that's best. But doing it in post is okay as well, as long as you know the range of your camera and make it look natural. Like, don't just think you can shoot however and then be like, yeah, I'll fix it in post. Like, that's gonna become an issue, so. Actually, none of my stuff is working. See, that's the real problem. Where's my chat feed? So yeah, just brighten them up a tad. So here's my before and after of that. Obviously, natural light, we got that background blown all the way out. We got Ron in the house. Hello, hello. If you have zoom lenses, what do you think is the best for special occasions? Probably something wider. That's why, like, people swear by a 24-70. That's probably the perfect focal length, in my opinion, because you have your wide so you can get larger groups and stuff, and then you have your 70 to get them close up portrait type shots. Is there a country location you'd love to shoot in for a wedding? Oh, I've never really like sat down and thought about it. I've never really sat down and thought about it, but I would love, I'm not really a beach person. I'd love something with like rolling hills and mountains and maybe like castles or something. That would be really awesome. Really awesome. Let me see if I can get my chat feed working while we're in here. Thanks for doing these live streams of your full edits and also posting it as a video later. You're welcome. I'm glad everyone enjoys them. It also, it helps me too, because I just don't have the attention to sit here and edit for hours. But when y'all are watching me, I kind of have to. So again, mutually beneficial. So I edited all these things, all these photos with the big groups. I had to do the shadow saving and stuff. So that's a little annoying, but again, this is gonna be for their like rebranding and stuff. So I wanna make it as nice as possible. So what I like to do generally, especially when I'm editing stuff like this, is I'll sync the settings from anything that's basically the same. And you can dive in deeper too, like go into your metadata and then find all the shots with the same lens. So see, this is all with the 16 f2.8. So I know that the colors and everything are gonna look general, so I can just select all these, sync the settings, And like half of my editing now is pretty much finished. Now the lighting has changed a bit, so I'll have to go in here and clean these up. And then I can sync the settings from this one to the rest of them as well, since they're all like the same scene, the same lighting, the same lens. How you avoid fringing with a backlight? I generally don't shoot backlit at all. In this location, it was like the only option because there's windows on every wall. But generally, I just try to keep people out of the, like, you know, the harsh light and then the contrast between them. I try my best not to have the overblown light like directly behind them. Blown out highlights. I mean, yeah, it kind of works. It's what it is. Finally get to catch one of these live streams. Just got Natural Fills preset. Awesome. Thank you. Japan. Ah, my brother's living in Japan right now, and I would love to go. I actually don't think I need the shadow save. I think they look good there. You played a new Tony Hawk? I haven't actually. Also, Reggie in the house. Y'all know Reggie. If you don't, you're missing out. I've been over here playing all these old school games still with the little time I have. I was trying to get into Genshin Impact, but then my PC version gave out on me and it like won't load. I keep getting this error message. So I have to play on my iPad, which I absolutely cannot stand because for some stupid reason, they don't have controller support, even though the iPad can use controllers, so whatever. Video idea: you should provide an email for your subscribers and let us send some pictures for you to edit. You know, I have actually done that a couple of times. I've done it twice so far now. Yeah, maybe I'll do it again. See, this is what y'all did to me last time. Is I was streaming and y'all like, hey, you should edit our photos, and then I sent out a link, and then all of a sudden I was like editing y'all's photos. I had my own stuff to edit. Bought your preset, looks strange. Can you help using XD3? Are you making sure to use the XD3 version? Because the XD3 has something weird going on with it. So it needs a different profile comparative to the rest of them. But the XD3 is what I mainly shoot on, and you're seeing it here. Like, the natural fields is what I use, so I'm not sure why it would look weird. Did my chat ever come back? It didn't. What's wrong with this thing? All widgets. Chat box. Maybe it'll start working. Have you tried Loop Deck? I have not tried Loop Deck, but I did have the other one. Its competitor called the Tour Box. It's like small. It's cool. I'm having a hard time with it only because I haven't sat down and really got it under my fingers. So I tend to be slower with it, and then I'll just end up giving it up. So these were all shot with the 23. I should have at least like one shot in here edited, like this one. And then I'll use this as the base. Greetings from Montana. Hello, hello. JB, let's talk about something. What would the XT5 need to be better? And what would you ever, if ever, cause you to ponder moving another system? It would be hard, honestly. And I'm just being real, like I'm super biased. It would be very hard to get me to move to another system right now. because I just love Fujifilm where it's at. Everything is so good. X-T5, what I would personally like to see to make it, but so obviously something with the sensor or the image quality would be awesome. I don't know if they're able to make it any better, because it's already really good. Is this not syncing everything? It is. So I really would love to see better image quality. And again, y'all already know I'm not a big fan of the flip screen. It's great for video. What happened to the white balance? Was it really as shot in this other one? These were all with the same lens. They should be looking the same. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. The X-T3 is good. It's good. X-T4 is doing well. It really is as shot. Did I paint warmth on her? It's only shadow save. Huh. Okay. I don't know why it hates me. Yeah, I can't think of anything really. The X-T4 with the IBIS and stuff, I mean, at this point, the Fuji cameras are in a really good space. Okay, and now we're gonna go back and resync over these other photos. This one's probably fine. What's your favorite type of photography and location? I love shooting people. I'm a very much portrait person type. My favorite types of locations, honestly, are anything that is kind of like old and decrepit. I really like cityscapes and just like old alleyways and stuff like that. Or even like just here in North Carolina, like if you go into the middle of nowhere, you can easily find spaces where it's just like, you know, like old abandoned houses in the middle of nowhere country. And it's just so cool. I'm a big fan. What do you think about lenses from other brands than Fuji? I have not had a chance to use any other brand lenses yet. I also, yet again, I think it's really about how the lens acts on the body as well. So when I was on Canon, I absolutely loved Sigma. I loved their lenses. And those, the art lenses were so good and they were so sharp and there was like no distortion. So good. So I was a big fan of the Sigma art series. But other than that, I haven't really used much else. I was on Canon, I was using Sigma mainly. I had only one Canon L lens, and that was about it. And then at that point, I moved over to Fuji. Uh-oh. Watched my first wedding day coverage from your channel today and was amazed and learned a lot about being in the field. Awesome. Why is Fujifilm your choice of camera? A lot of why Fujifilm is my choice comes from doing weddings. And the first and main thing is the weight. On a wedding day, especially when you're carrying like 2 cameras, it's just, it gets heavy quick. And you know, having a full DSLR Canon with a huge Sigma art lens on, it's heavy. It's a lot. It is a lot. So that was a big factor for me switching to Fuji. Yo, what is it doing? Did I change my settings that heavily? Everything's on. So yeah, the weight, the price, because especially when you have like, you know, I'm using all the f2 lenses. Them things are like $500 a piece. Little nice, cute little lens. Pay $600 for it. I mean, it's just so nice. Like when I switched over, I was like, wow, lenses can be this cheap. Who would have known? Would you still recommend the XT2? Yes, I would. I actually, yesterday I was going through my photos and I realized a lot of my like banger shots that I use for like my hero pictures and all that stuff are all from the XT2. And I didn't even realize it. I was like, yo, half of my like really good shots, and I'm always like, yeah, that's the shot. It was XT2. I probably did some of the most work I ever had when I was on the XT2. Let me see. Let me show y'all. So y'all have seen this shot a lot because I be showing it everywhere because it's my go-to, but this was the XT2. Like the XT2 is good. And especially again, if you don't, and I've talked about it a lot, if you don't depend on your camera to do everything for you, it's more about you and how you understand light and then just understanding your camera's limits. So when everyone always talks about like, oh, autofocus and eye autofocus and face focus and no, that's great that your camera can do that. But like most of the time I use single point focus and I move the thing myself. Cause I've seen too many banger shots missed because I'm sitting there waiting on the autofocus and it decides to focus on something randomly. And obviously the better you can get at that, but I don't know, I don't like my camera doing it all for me. It's kind of funny to me how we all sit around and we'll be like, oh, you know, if you're not shooting manual, you're not a real photographer. But then you'll like sit there and, you know, have the autofocus system do everything else for you. You know, those real hardcore photographers, like them street photographers that shoot manual and they know how far 5 feet is from them and they focus to it and they can just walk into it and take the shot. That's that real stuff. Obviously, I'm not on that either. But my main point is like, I don't like to have my camera just like do everything. And because of that, that means the XT2 is still very much a viable camera. My second photographer who I use mainly, she uses an XT2 as well. And I mean, her stuff looks fine. What else? This was XT2. Like I forgot. I was like, oh, dang. This is XT2 with the 35 f2. Do you use custom white balance when you shoot? Sometimes. It depends on how everything's using, but for the most part I do automatic white balance. We got Brazil in the house. Got my boy Will. We got all my peoples in the house. Oh, Ron, you were just up there. That's the not West Village. That's over there in Dumbo, right? I'm struggling with metering. What's your preferred metering mode? I used and I always forget the names of the metering mode. I use the one that does all, so it does the single point in the middle and the 4. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm the worst. I'm the worst photographer. Don't listen to me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Let me see what else I got in here. Let me see what else I got in here on this good old XT2. This was XT2 with the 56. Evaluative. Yeah, all the photometry modes. I like never know. And honestly too, and see this, we're all always learning. You know, like no one ever gets to a point where like, I'm the greatest photographer. Like if I actually paid attention to the photo metering modes more often when I was in certain situations, I would probably get better photos in some situation and not have to deal with them in post as much. Who else is in here? What is this? What do I got in here? Oh, I love this photo. This was XT2 and probably the 23. But where's my black and white? There it is. This was XT2 and also probably the 23 F2. So again, like honestly, the majority of my portfolio, because I shot so many weddings that year, the majority of my like really banger work in my portfolio is XT2 stuff. And that also shows you like, you can't tell the difference of when I switched to XT3 either. So, you know, again, it really comes down to you first and foremost. If the camera can do what you need it to do, you know, like, then that's fine. But that's the biggest thing. Like, I really almost didn't buy an XT4 at all until I saw how good it looked for video, and I was only using an XT30. And I was like, well, it has IBIS, it has a flip out screen, and it's closer to the XT series, not the XT double digit series. So I was like, let me go ahead and just upgrade, because it makes more sense in the long run. So here's 2019. This is when I got an XT3. So I basically have upgraded every year. So this shot we're seeing here is still XT2. And then at the end of 2018, I upgraded to the XT3. And let me see if I have any banger shots here. Yeah. So stuff like this. This was the XT3. This was the 35 F2. I was fairly far from the couple. Again, XT3. So yeah, 2018, most all of it I shot with the XT2. And then 2019 I had an XT3. And you can barely tell the difference. So it's really performance, like the batteries were a little bit better, the focusing was better. The video got a lot better. The XT3, so I know how they talk about the XT4 has that little switch between video. But the XT3 kind of acts the same way. It just doesn't have a switch specifically to go between stills and video. XT3 Brenizer with a 56. Watching from Philippines. Philippines in the house. But I might have to get you out of here though if you keep if you keep telling me where you from. What are the most significant upgrades to the XT2? The focusing is so much better, and the image quality got a lot better too. It just, something about it was like way more crisp. But the focusing is so good coming from the XT2. Like really, it was pretty big of a deal. Y'all too, make sure, yeah, Mark, y'all can ask him some questions too. I have a bunch of people in here right now. We got some good photographers in here, so y'all chat amongst yourselves as well. Do you use adapters with other lenses on your Fujifilm? I do not. The only time I ever do it is when I just want to have fun, and then I'll do like a film lens on my XT3 or something. But I've never used, because for me, half the point of getting Fujifilm was for the small lenses. So adapting like, you know, a Sigma art lens just doesn't make sense, because them things weigh as much as the Fujifilm cameras in themselves. It like defeats the purpose. So you think the X-T2 focusing is better? No, X-T3 focusing is much better. Much better. There was even one thing I noticed when I was on the X-T2 is that whenever I was doing continuous autofocus, the 23 for some reason would always miss focus. Even when I wasn't doing continuous, it would just miss it. Just barely. Just enough to be like, wait, did I miss focus or was that the camera? Where's my shadow save? Shadow save. Whereas when I moved over to the X-T3, that didn't happen anymore. So the focusing definitely got a lot better on the X-T3. The image quality got better too. It was like sharper all the way through. It was definitely, the X-T2 to 3 was a no-brainer jump to upgrade. Like I immediately was like, yes, upgrade. Where can I buy your presets? Do I still have it copied? You can check out my preset here. Everything you see here that I'm editing with is with the preset as well. Like I was saying before, the preset I'm selling is my preset. It's my look. It's not just me creating a preset to be like, here's a preset that I sell on YouTube. It is my preset. When I export, it's a little different, but y'all are getting the same tones and everything. What do you enjoy most about wedding photography? It is hard to say. What? Let's start from scratch. So first off, I like working with people. My background is mainly in customer service. And that's a big thing I'll tell anybody trying to get into wedding photography. If you don't like customer service, don't get into wedding photography, because wedding photography is more customer service than it is photography. Like hands down, changed my mind. You know what I mean? You still have to be a great photographer, but the customer service is what makes everything work. A lot of people who are like, oh, I deal with bridezillas, or honestly groomzillas, because if you've ever dealt with a groomzilla, y'all, no one talks about that. These grooms be out there. But if you've ever dealt with that, I would say 85% of the time, a groomzilla or bridezilla is because you didn't do the customer service right beforehand. It's not just because I hate that, how people, oh, these people are crazy. Whoa, these bridezillas. No, bro. No, you're not like dealing with their needs. You're not dealing with their expectations. You're not setting their expectations. You just want to show up on the day and take good photos and be like, okay. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that with wedding photography at all. Not even slightly. And that's how you deal with, you know, people freaking out. Now, you can still have people freak out even if you do your customer service, but it's a lot less, because if you do your customer service well up front, people will trust you more. And so when they get to a freak out and you're like, okay, we got this handled, I got this handled, we're gonna be fine, it's gonna be cool, they're more able to just, you know, take a deep breath and be like, okay, my photographer's legit. I've seen him, you know, take care of me up until this time. You know, I'm gonna trust him. You get more of that, which is why, like, when you see my full wedding days and you're like, wow, he's just like hanging out and taking photos. My days are like that, but it's because I make sure that I really talk to my couples beforehand, make sure we're on the same page, make sure everything makes sense, make sure I understand what they want. Because yeah, you definitely can't just show up and take pictures. It'll turn out into a tragedy. Have you ever considered going into astrology, astrophotography? It sounds really cool and I would love to try it, honestly. This is too much. It's like just barely too much. Just starting out, what lens would you recommend? Definitely get yourself a 35, or if you're on Fuji, that's a 23. And then get something longer like a 35 or a 50. So a 35 and a 50. I think that's a great starting place. You got a good wide, you got a good close. They're not too much of the extremes of either. And it's a good way to get your feet wet and start understanding those focal lengths. Because the moment you start getting into your like 14 millimeters and your 100 somethings, it changes so much. Whereas when you're like 35 and 50, they're very safe spots of this is a safe wide and this is a safe close. You can learn from there and then move on. What's up, my friend? I enjoy your page and your photo. Thank you so much. I had a groom trying to fist fight venue staff after a wedding. Oh my god. Yo, yeah. I hate that it's so biased like that. Bridezillas. Groomzillas are way worse. Because especially, you know how guys are. And I feel like too, you know, stereotypically. So I don't want to put anyone in a bucket, but stereotypically, guys have that like, I have to prove myself. So when stuff goes bad, they're thinking, well, my bride is going to be upset too. So now they get like double mad because they feel like they have to get mad for their wife, and then they just like lose. Groomzillas are way worse than bridezillas, way worse. Like, I can't begin to tell you, like, really. I've only had one, and he didn't even get that bad. But I was like, oh snap! I was like, no. Everyone was like, it's gonna be cool, dude. You're gonna be fine. It's okay. You're fine. I was like, please don't. Please. Not today. Okay, my bot's working again. Where's my chat? Oh, where is my chat? Let's see. Because it's working. I see it happening. Oh well. My biggest difficulty is posing and prompting couples during portraits after the ceremony. I end up recycling 10 same poses in different locations from different angles, suggesting to be more natural. So it sounds like you're probably in a good place with your posing, especially if you have like your 10 same ones. So at that point, the only thing I would really suggest is like try, and this is more so if it fits your style, try prompting for more interaction with your couples. So instead of just poses, have the poses turn into actions they can take. The more you can get them doing stuff, you'll get more natural feelings. Natural feelings, you'll get more natural feelings out of them, and you'll get more natural looks in them doing stuff like that. Because I'm the same way. I have like, and everyone does it, you have your go-to poses. Like the second photographer I mainly use, she like almost knows exactly. Like she sees me go to a location and she knows I'm gonna take a certain shot. She'll even tell me if I'm in a place I haven't been and she's been there before, she'll be like, you wanna go over here so you can do this shot, and you wanna go over there so you can do this shot. So it definitely does get very like, and that's how wedding photography is, which is why a lot of people don't take it very seriously. But you have to find your creativity and your kind of how to change things up within having a formula. Because you have to have a formula. You can't be like, I want to do weddings and be the most artistic. You have to have a formula, and then within the formula you have to be able to fit the artistic creativity part as well. Tickle fight. Any Capture One preset? Not yet. I've been working on it though. It's just not, it's not looking right to me. Until I get the tones and everything looking the way I want to, there won't be a Capture One version. But I am working on it. I really, really want a Capture One version of the natural feels. So soon, hopefully. Man, so many photos. I thought I was like, oh, I'm nearly done. Not really, bro. Greetings from Brussels. Hello, hello. Any tips? Except the grid on a Canon 6D Mark II to take straight pictures. I saw a level mark on the Fuji. Yeah, that's what I have a level And again, you can see it in the viewfinder too, so I try my best to keep the photos straight. I am not a fan of Dutch tilting at all. Sorry for anyone who's a Dutch tilt master. It just like, it feels so played out, and it's just like, I don't know. It's too much for me. Hi John, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm a wedding photographer here in the Philippines, and I'm a Fujifilm user. Awesome, Team Fuji. Order confirmed. Just purchase your preset. Oh, thank you. When would you recommend someone jump from the X-T30 to the X-T4 as I begin to do more paid work? Yeah, the dual card and the grips are the reason you'd want to upgrade from the X-T30. Especially if you're doing work where like having backups is a necessity. But honestly, outside of that, the X-T30 is awesome. I love that little camera. I still, like I said, I upgraded from the X-T30 to the X-T4, and I kept the X-T30 because I love it that much. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't have a D-pad, and that kind of kills my whole vibe. I feel like I can't get to things quickly without the D-pad. Because on an X-T3 and 4, you know, like right gives you your white balance, and up gives you your focusing types, and down gives you your, whereas on the X-T30 you just have this little nub, and you can't set like up and down and left and right on the nub to be things. So it makes me sad. If the X-T4, will you be using a lower shutter speed? No, because I'll still get blur from people moving. The only time I would do that is if it was a shot that I absolutely knew was gonna be in a dark, and I knew my subject was gonna not really be moving. Is this what they called? It's like the same photo. The X-T4 solidifies the X-T3's place in my bag. Yeah. I mean, I still mainly shoot with the, I think these were the X-T3. I still mainly shoot with the X-T3. Yep, these were all X-T3. Unless I'm doing some kind of like YouTube content where I really want to show off the X-T4, I tend to grab the X-T3s. I don't have grips for the 4 yet. But honestly, the battery life is so good. I feel like the X-T4 with a grip, you'll never change the batteries at all. I've been on the fence about swapping over to Lightroom. The file management seems much more automated, but I've gotten really comfortable with C1's layout. I don't know if I'd say it's automated, but it's definitely like, I do think the file system handling is much better. Because you can even see how I have it laid out here. And when I import, I have like a very specific process I follow for importing, which I think is nice and leads to me knowing exactly where my photos are and where my backups are and everything. It's just nice. Also, I feel like Lightroom is much faster. Like, yes, C1 is definitely the better program, but Lightroom is fast when it comes to bulk editing. It's so fast. Again, this is coming from someone who doesn't know the ins and outs of Capture One though, so, you know, if I'm totally wrong, I'm sorry. What do you use for streaming? I have an Elgato Cam Link, so I'm using my X-T3. Right now, this is a different view. This is the first time I'm using this view, and I kind of like it. But this is the 35 f2 on an X-T3, going through the Cam Link and I'm using OBS as the system to actually stream it. How do you determine when, if to do any skin edits? I typically keep my edits only to color and straightening. The only time I ever really do skin stuff, if there was something standing out to me, this obvious. And when it's obvious, it's like, you can see it even in these small. So I don't know if y'all saw earlier, but on some of these photos, she had like, I don't know what that is. And it may be just like a normal birthmark or something, but it's just so obvious to me. Like it stands out. So I'll get rid of stuff like that. I don't do a lot of heavy edits on the skin, because that's just not the style I'm going for. I like a more natural look to everything, and this is not like magazine portrait type style, so I keep it natural. I know there's a couple shots, and I think she had, yeah, I didn't catch it, I'm the worst, but she has lipstick on her teeth, so like I'm gonna have to deal with that, obviously, because it's the worst. And honestly, I might not be able to do it in Lightroom. I might have to go to Photoshop. Look at those worms. Did it do it? Ugh. Ah. I'm so mad I didn't catch that. I got so many, like, I think most of her shots she had lipstick in there too. Oh no, okay. Okay, cool. It was that one photo. I was like dreading it. I was like, oh no, half the photos are gonna have like lipstick in there. The batteries are so good in the XT. Yeah, it really is. And I have a grip from Small. Yo, so I just ordered some stuff from Small Rig a while ago, and I have not seen that stuff at all. Actually, I'm about to. Your order, August 30th. Small Rig XT4. I had to get some HDMI grips and clips. Is this is it gonna ever ship? I'm about to hit them up and be like, yo, I ordered this like 50 years ago. Do you make your own film simulation recipes? I have not done that yet, actually. I want to get into it though, because that's some pretty cool stuff. Okay, so these can probably sync. And again, so I'm able to synchronize the edits between all these photos, mainly because it's the same lens and I know the lighting's basically the same. Like, especially if you're in a 100% controlled light studio situation, you can edit like this, where you're just like, edit one, it looks good, copy the settings through all of them, boom, done. I appreciate your advice on your last stream. It really got me prepped for my first wedding shoot, and it went smoother than if I didn't ask for your. Oh, awesome. I'm glad that helped out. What program do you use to make your GIFs? So generally I'll do GIFs inside of Photoshop, but I got annoyed with that. So I started doing them in Final Cut. So basically it's the same process. It's just how you export that changes everything. So what I'm doing is I'll edit my photos here in Lightroom, export them into a single folder, go to Final Cut, and then in Final Cut throw them in and make them maybe like 2 to 3 frames each, and then export it as a GIF from there. It's just much easier, because in Photoshop you're like click it and 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 click, whereas in a video program you're just like plop, there are the photos, plop, they're 3 frames each, plop, export. Thank you for all the subs, y'all. I got subs for days. Thank you for subbing. Okay, let's not be lazy. Let's see if this edit will work on the rest of these real quick. And while we do that, give me 2 seconds. I will be right back. All right, I needed some water. All this talking. Hi from Australia. Hello, welcome. Heard a rumor that there's gonna be third-party lenses for Fuji. That'd be hype. I want to see some Sigma lenses. But on the same end, they're gonna be like, Sigma lenses for Fujifilm, and they're giant. Is the X-T4 worth it? I think it depends on what you're looking for from a camera. Now, if you're on an X-T30, the advantages that you're gonna see are obviously being able to have a battery grip. You got the D-pad on the back, so you're able to kind of navigate the system a little bit quicker. And then some focusing stuff, but remember when the X-T30 came out, the focusing was way better than the X-T3, so. Again, also, if you're going 4, you're gonna get IBIS. And then I think the picture quality is a little bit better than the X-T30, but it really depends on what you're trying to do. I would say for photos, go for the X-T3. I agree. X-T4 is more lent towards video. It definitely is much better for video. I like it for stills, but again, like, and this was the main thing I was talking about, like with IBIS, it helps, but you're not gonna be shooting low. You're not gonna be shooting low shutters like that. You're just not. Especially if you're shooting things that move. Now, if you're doing like still life stuff or products or something like that, then yes, you'll be shooting super low shutters, but on the same end, you're probably on a tripod. You're not gonna be hand holding it. So again, it's like a half and half. How did you deliver your photos starting out? Low cost options. Currently use Google Drive, but want something more attractive. I've heard Pixie but as of now, Google Drive is cheaper option. So I currently use PicTime, and I've always delivered through some type of service. I'm extra. I tend to over invest up front, so keep that in mind whenever you listen to information from me. Yes, you can go the cheap route and save yourself some money, but for me personally, I think presentation is king, which is why I tend to over invest in stuff up front. PicTime, actually, I think it's free for like the first 20 gigs or something. So it's something you should definitely check out. I also think I have a link somewhere that might help y'all out. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Oh, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so here's PicTime. Oh no, what a link. What a link. I think I did that right. And if you use the code JBIVTIME, you get a free month when you sign up. So definitely check that out. PicTime is awesome. It's really good, and I'm pretty sure they have like a free plan or something. Let's see, pricing. Yeah, so it's $0 to sign up for 20 gigs of storage with a 15% sales commission. So basically that's if you sell prints, they'll take a commission off of your prints. But either way, if you're just like delivering and you want it to look nicer, at 20 gigs, you can definitely upload like 2 to 3 full galleries and then take them down when you're done. So what type of photography do you shoot for yourself and not for the business? For myself, honestly, I like street. I don't get enough of it, and now that I'm in North Carolina, there's not a lot of it. It's just not the same after living in New York for like 10 years. That and just taking pictures of my family, which I need to do more of. Funny enough, because I take photos so often, when I'm like off and not working, I don't really want to take pictures. So I'm like not really picking up a camera too often. That's actually why I want to get an X100V, because that's a very like friendly, like I don't feel like taking photos, but here's a great camera you can just pick up. It has a lens on it. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. How do you deliver the file to clients? I use PicTime. So I can show y'all a little bit of how it looks. So this is PicTime. And again, it is an online gallery delivery service, basically. But the best thing about PicTime is that they try to make it very easy for you to be able to sell prints. That's kind of their business. Their business is they want you to sell prints, so they make it like an automated system. They have like all these automations that help you actually sell prints and basically advertise to your clients to buy more prints. So you see here, I can have all my galleries and everything, and this is what I see on my side. But let's look at what they see on their side. So here's what it looks like when the gallery is delivered to them. And this is why we do this. Like, using Google Drive or Dropbox or something like that is cool, but it doesn't look nice. And also when it looks nice, you're more able to sell prints and things of that sort. So they have their gallery, they scroll down, they see all the photos. And then what I do is I like to separate it into sections of the day. So you see here, there's like the groom getting ready. Then there's the bride getting ready. Then there's, you know, like, oh cool, I didn't know this picture would go wide like that. How awesome. And you see they do stuff like that. How cool. I didn't realize that this is like a pano shot I took just of the area that they were in. So it's like stuff like that as far as a presentation. You know, like you as the person viewing it are like, wow. And then if you want to see something, you can click on it and see it bigger. You can scroll through like this. It's really nice. You can also, up here at the gallery, you can just go through the sections of the day. So if there's something you want to see, like, you know, couple portraits or something, like you can just find that. Where are their portraits? Oh, it's way up here. Okay, I was about to be like, what? You delivered a whole wedding gallery without couple portraits. Great job. But yeah, so they can come in here and see all of that. And that's how it's delivered to them. You can also have videos in there as well. So if you have like a Vimeo account or YouTube, you can link a video. So like I made a little video of their engagement session. This was actually all handheld on the X-T4. I hybrid shot. The X-T4 is awesome for hybrid shooting. Because again, with that switch, you're just like, photo, 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 switch, here goes some video real quick. And with the IBIS, it's good stuff. I don't do a lot of video. I don't consider myself like a videographer or anything of that sort, but you know, I can pull together some decent little videos like this, so it's fun stuff. Where did you find that YouTube subscribe template with the dark mode layout? I've seen other YouTubers use. It is from a company called Motion VFX. They do a lot of like graphical motion stuff for Final Cut. Thanks so much for the time spent with us. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Will clients have unlimited downloads and will quality be lost? That's my fear. No. So you get to decide all of that stuff. So when I come into a gallery, right? So again, this is my side of it. This is what I'm setting up. We have our gallery setup section here. So I can, you know, say if it's a private gallery or not. I can show it on a portfolio. I have clients can download photos, and in that setting, I can set it so that only the main client can download like the full res images, and then everyone else only gets WIB size or has to buy. So there's no quality loss at all if you're uploading the full size images. Now you can make it so that only certain people can download it, but then everyone can order from it. So you have a lot of stuff. You can watermark stuff, and you can have the watermark again be only for certain people. So like the bride and groom, they won't have watermarks, but all their guests, I can have the photos watermarked. So there's a lot of different things you can do, which is why I like using something like PicTime, because it puts a lot of control in my hands of what I can do with the photos. For syncing same exposure for the whole session, I use the Shift Option M shortcut. Yep, that's the match overall exposures. Hey John, big fan. Glad to finally catch one of your streams. If you could only use one lens for a whole wedding, it would definitely be the 35 f2. I love that lens. 35 f2 is my jam. My forever jam. Now, it would be kind of hard when it came to getting ready photos, because sometimes you're in a hotel and you ain't got no space. That'd be the only downside to using a 35 f2, but aside from that, the whole day 35 f2 definitely. These photos were all with the 50 f1. Brand spanking new 50 f1. Happy to see you on live. Hello, welcome. Miami in the house. I've only been down there once. And the weather was so good. Thank you for that sub. Still can't get my chat to work, but oh well, I guess. It's so like picky. Sometimes it works and other times it doesn't, and I don't understand why. Oh, we got Miami. We got all the Miami folks in the house. Will the F1 replace the F1 to the 56, or will you use them together? I'm thinking I'm gonna use them together. I'm really thinking I'm gonna use them together. Because again, for weddings, for me, and I've done it, and so again, more, oh, there it goes, I got the chat working. More personal feelings on the 50 F1, right? I've been using it more for weddings, and I found myself drawn to using it more. I definitely want to use it, and it has that like full frame look to it, and I find that I start using it and I want to use it, you know. That's actually this wedding, which I need to cull, but I used the 50 F1 for that, and I was like on it like nearly the whole time. We got France and South Africa in the house. How often do you use film simulations in your photos? Not very often. Obviously, you have to set the camera with a film simulation, but I don't keep them like that. I generally use classic Chrome, but I'm always editing in my own style. They picked like all the same photos. I could have like edited half of these photos. We got Raleigh in the house, hometown. Let's see, I feel like, nope. We'll sync that. But yeah, so I'll show y'all some of those photos real quick, because these are basically done. Which wedding was it? Here it goes. So this was the at-home backyard wedding. Preset looks amazing on my photos. Awesome, glad you like it. And so I shot the wedding. I was pretty wide most of the day, and then we did the ceremony. I recorded their ceremony for them, and for that I used the 50 F1 on an X-T3. I was shooting with the X-T4 on this because I hybrid shot, so I shot a little bit of video for them as well. And then once we got to the portraits, so this stuff, this is all 56. Because again, it's lighter, and I used the 50 as the video camera. But once we were done with the ceremony, and I wasn't using the 56 anymore, I immediately went to the 50. So this is all 56 again. This is 56. From Seattle, thanks for always posting the chillest vids. You're welcome. So here's ceremony, here's family, portraits, and then yeah, and then immediately on the 50 F1. Like no questions. I was like 50 time. So I mean, yeah, I definitely, I feel like I enjoy shooting with the 50 more. And I don't know, I like that focal length. I've never used a 50, but the 56, I like things to be wider, and the 50 has this really good, like, close enough, but still kind of wide. Do you do anything other than wedding photography? I do a little bit of portraiture, not too much, and I also do, I'll do family stuff, but it's only by request. I just don't do it too often, so it's mainly weddings. Good evening from Greece. It's late over there, isn't it? I think when I started, a couple people were saying it was like 10 p.m. Since I got everyone up in here, let me Let me start another thread for y'all. Let's do another, I'm not gonna do it now, but another editing your photos on stream. Man, I have too many Dropbox accounts. So I have to like log in and out of them all the time. How many photos do you take in a wedding? For like a normal 8-hour wedding? Because now, you know, I don't know if there's any such thing as like normal weddings anymore, but I can generally go around maybe like 5,000 photos or so. That's between both my cameras. RAW or JPEG if you shoot weddings? RAW, but shooting JPEG is legit if you can get it right in camera. Like even if you shot RAW and JPEG and RAW just is the backup in case, you could save yourself so much time editing. 12 a.m. in the Philippines, dang y'all. How you sharpening Lightroom and Fujifilm? So I have a video about this, but I don't sharpen in Lightroom at all. Now you can sharpen in Lightroom, and I know Reggie, he has great videos on this as well. But basically the details thing inside of Lightroom, this details function, is what causes most of the worms. So you can even see here, like the worms are definitely kind of in there. Let's see if I can get up in there. But if you turn down detail, it like basically gets rid of the worms. The detail is what is causing the worms. But I use exposure and I do my sharpening at the JPEG stage. All right, y'all, here we go. If y'all want to see your photos edited by me, drop some RAW files in there. And drop some RAW files. I love the lighting in your studio. What lights do you use? So I have, first off, everything's kind of overexposed, right? I guess it looks fine on the stream. So a lot of what you're seeing is the window lights. I have 3 big windows right here beside me. Over here, kind of on my right, I have a 24-inch octabox with an LED in there. That's actually the mag box. So that's the mag mod box, soft box that they make. And then I have 2 little Gen-Array LEDs bouncing off of the ceiling. So I just use it to fill the space, really. And then other than that, my shutter speed down at like 160. So it's gonna also fill in the light a little bit better as well. Did you buy a base to play yet? Not yet. I need to get one though. I need to get like, what's that dude's name? He's a big YouTuber. I don't really know his name like that. Talking about slap the like button. Slap the bass. 8,000 photos, dang! Do you think the Fujifilm webcam app is any good? I haven't used it yet. Mainly because I have the cam link, so I've been using that, but I want to try it because I would love to set up a multicam like setup for you all, so I could use one cam link for me and the webcam app for like a top down and then do something. So here's a great example. So I shot this photo in Kelvin because their skin wasn't looking right. So you see in this one, they're like overly orange because of the Kelvin, but because of that, I was able to pull back the warmth and their skin still looks right. If you get the Kelvin wrong in camera and it's like too far on one of the ends, you can't save people's skin tones. I like my greens, like this nice cool kind of green. I'm a huge fan of that. Davey 504, yeah, that's what. His stuff is funny. I don't even watch him like that, but I've seen a couple of his things recently, and I was just like, wow. Just added a photo. How long do you need for delivery for the photos to client? I usually quote my clients 4 to 8 weeks, and I generally deliver within 3 to like 5. I try my best not to go 4 weeks. Oops. Lightroom. Yeah, this 50, the 50 be out here performing. That's the one thing I'll say to y'all. The 50 be out here doing work. So these shots were all with the 50 f1. Just to get an idea of how this thing, and I definitely, I'll say I do kind of prefer shooting with it. It is a little bit bigger than I would like it to be, but I mean, this thing is doing work. And I love the, like, this shot here. Like, that's some full frame looking. Like, look at the background just blown all, just gone. $50 f1 doing work. And the focusing is so good. How many photos do you typically deliver? It depends. So like recently with these smaller weddings, they're getting like 300-400 photos. But again, on a normal 8-hour day, you're talking more like 1,000 photos, somewhere in that range, 1,200. It also depends on the day. Uploaded a photo. Coffee or tea? Coffee. I need to stop drinking so much though, in all realness. I love tea actually. It's just I always go coffee. Sir Mark is back. Are these all shot wide open at f1? Yes. I have a tendency. Well, you know what? Let's double check. Let me before I do have a tendency to just go ahead and shoot wide open. And again, on Fujifilm, like f1 is more like f1.4 on a full frame. So let's see. This first one was at f1. ISO was 250. Shutter speed was 1/250th. Y'all can kind of see it up there. This one here also was at f1. Yep, f1, 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 f1. And I feel like it grabs the shots. Like this is f1, and I mean, oops. I mean, they're in focus. And I mean, I was fairly far from them too. And all this is in focus. Do you edit all your projects by yourself? Not always. I used the image salon recently. Because actually, so as I start diving into more YouTube and doing YouTube more often, it's actually hard for me to keep up with doing weddings and also making videos. So the last like 3 weddings I did, I had them outsourced to the image salon. But the cool thing about the image salon is that they'll work with you and figure out your look and figure out your preset. So I actually have a specific editor, and I've sat down and talked with them, sent them samples, sent them my preset, and showed them kind of how I like to edit, and then they'll edit and bring it back to me. So it saves a lot of time because basically I'll cull it myself, send them smart previews. It takes them like 2 to 3 days, and they like bang out the whole wedding. And then I bring the smart previews back into Lightroom. So now I have the edits, and then I just check them real quick and black and white some of the photos. I don't pay, they charge extra for black and whites. So I just do the black and whites myself. And I go through and export, and that's it. So, and the biggest thing, it's more of a time saving, because while they're taking 2 to 3 days to edit the wedding, I can be making YouTube videos at the same time. So I don't do it often, but I did get backed up recently, and I did like 3 weddings, and it was dope. They were just like, boom, 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 we're done. And I was like, yes. The 50 is seriously impressive. Yeah, I mean, it really, that's the thing. A lot of people, and I didn't do it justice in my 50 versus 56 video. The one thing that I kind of messed up is that I didn't try and match the focal length. So like I would line up the shot with the 56 and then take the same shot with the 50, but I wouldn't move in closer. If I moved in closer, y'all would have definitely seen a big difference in the bokeh. So where you had a computer with OneDrive, Windows, and one with macOS, did you use OpenCore or Clover? So I originally used Clover, but I just recently switched to OpenCore. So this machine I'm on now, what y'all are seeing, this is the Windows side of my Mac Hackintosh also. The video I just dropped, that one is just Mac, and that was also OpenCore too. OpenCore is so easy. My dude Mark, who's in the chat right now, he was the one who actually kind of helped me and coached me into getting into OpenCore. So OpenCore is so good. I was kind of surprised, and it's easy. Clover, I felt like I had no idea what I was doing. I was just kind of like doing what they said to do, and then it wouldn't work, and I'd be like, but why? OpenCore, I felt like I knew what I was doing the whole time. And if I had to troubleshoot something, I understood what I needed to do to troubleshoot it. Best motherboard? I think best motherboard for Hackintoshes right now are probably Asus or ASRock. I think it's the ASRock boards that are better, because that Gigabyte board, and I've been using Gigabyte boards, but I ran into like a pretty big headache with that. So yeah, I don't know if I can recommend them anymore. Do you have any GFX cameras? I don't. But after using that 100 for like 2 weeks, I want it. It was so good. Oh, what chipset? I don't know. I don't know which chipset is better. I know Intel is easier to work with because obviously Macs use Intel. But a lot of people be pulling off some beastie 16 core Ryzen Threadripper crazy Hackintoshes. I'm shooting my first small wedding this weekend. Any tips on posing subjects and focusing? Do you ever use eye autofocus? I do not use eye autofocus. Now, when you're doing like couple portraits, like these photos up here, you can definitely use eye autofocus and it should be fine. But especially when you're taking pictures of like the couple during the ceremony stuff, don't use face detection and things, because sometimes your camera will start picking up other people's faces because there's a lot of people, and then you'll end up missing shots and stuff. I like single point focus, and I like to move it manually myself. ITX C390 and newer go ASRock. If your ATX or larger, Asus, MSI, ASRock. Yeah, the Gigabyte ones are good. It's those ITX builds that thing got me. That thing messed me up. My build was like perfect. I would have just been like boop boop boop, and it would have been maybe 5 hours total of building the small form factor PC and OpenCore Mac on it. It literally would have been like 5 hours maybe total. But I ran into a problem with Wi-Fi, and it turned what would have been like 5 to 6 hours into like a week of troubleshooting. It was the worst. Hello, John. How's it going? Hello, I'm doing great. doing great, feeling good. Let me go back to this other shoot. Let me not be an idiot. Let's go ahead and finish it up. We're like right at the end. There's only a couple more photos left. Yeah, 34 is not a lot. So let's go back to the metadata. And let me actually, I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. All right, we back. Don't forget, y'all, submit some raw photos, and I'll edit your photos. Oh, we got 6 submitters so far. Oh, we got photos for days. Y'all in here. Oh, yo! I think I shot a wedding at this same venue. Yeah, submit some photos. Is that part of the song? Here, let me download what I have so far. Extract. Extract. Import. Let's see. Submissions. We'll put it natural. Feels. Subs. 3. Build smart previews. I like it. Don't do, yep, that's fine. Import. Yeah, I am pretty sure I shot a wedding at this same hotel. This is in New Jersey? New Jersey, right? Who submitted this? Oh, Dave, he's the one saying I have to run. I'm pretty sure I shot a wedding at this same. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was 2019, right? Was it 2018? Has it been that long? Wow, it has been that long. Yeah, right? This is the same place, ain't it? Oh, maybe not. It looks like the same place to me. I'm frozen? Oh no, what happened? Y'all can hear me though, right? I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm back now. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, this looks like the same hotel, but I'm probably just crazy. Let's hit these David photos before he has to go. Oh, does this have y'all's edits on them? Yeah, because it's a DNG, right? It does. So first off, for me, the first thing that stands out is the straightening. I need it more straight than that. And then I would probably auto white balance because the white balance is all over the place. Still editing? Yes, I am. How long has it been? About 2 hours. That's pretty typical. I tend to go like 3 hours. All right, CR2s, what, Canon something? What is this? Canon EOS 7D Mark II. Throw that natural feels on it. Boom. Let's auto for the custom preset or the lens. What lens is this? 17. Oh yeah. This is like, this angle is just kind of for a wide lens like this. So there's too much magenta and there's not enough warmth. And then again, like I said, the only time I do some skin retouching is if it stands out to me too much. So just a little bit too much going on her forehead there. And I'm still not totally happy with the white balance, but crop it in some, I guess. Constrain the crop. So yeah, there's the before and after. I'm still kind of, I feel like her skin tone is off. Can we see what you're editing? But not, oh, you're back, okay. So like, paint in some warmth. So a lot of times when I paint in stuff, I'll do too much to begin with. So like I did warmer plus, which is probably gonna definitely be too much. But I'd rather see it and then adjust than do too little and then be like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm doing. So her skin tone feels a little bit off to me, so I'm just gonna paint in some warmth. Now, a lot of times the reason I paint it in on the whole body is because I want that white balance to feel uniform across the person, not just like all of a sudden her skin's mad warm, but then like, you know, then her dress is like not, and it's like, well, how is your skin warm but your dress is not? But supposedly the same light is hitting you. So that was a little bit too much, but actually it wasn't so bad. So I'm gonna pull back the warmth just a bit. Probably like there. That feels good to me. There. And there's your before and after. Side by side is summer and winter. Thank you for all the subs, y'all. Thank you for the subs. How often do you live stream? Do you want to miss the next? Don't want to miss. So I got in a good habit at one point of like live streaming like once a month, but I want to try and keep it about once or twice a month. Maybe I'll actually like start doing a stream schedule, but as of now, I just kind of do them sporadically. But a lot of times I'll try to actually schedule it at least, so y'all will see it coming up. This is an XT30. Great shot. Looks like bridesmaids walking. I love this scenery. This is beautiful. This was shot with the good old 35 f2. This might look nice with a little 16:9 crop on it. I feel like there was too much floor. I want to see more of just them walking. Yeah, XT30 is so good. I remember when it came out, like I bought it almost immediately because I was just like, it's basically like the little sibling of the XT30 or the XT3. It was like literally the XT3, but just not as beastie. Got a good old Sony. Got a nice wide shot with a couple there. I can't tell. No, the focus is not missed. We're at f2.8. Boom. Let's do auto white balance. Yeah, there we go. The white balance was looking kind of crazy. So I like all my greens to be kind of cool, but I don't want the couple to look too like weird. Too much magenta, but see, they're not warm enough, but I don't want everything else. So again, I'm gonna paint some warmth on them. Now again, the nice thing is when you paint in adjustments like this, obviously when you make global changes, that becomes a part of it. So like, if I want to warm up my scene, I can, but then they're gonna be a little bit warmer already. Or if I want to cool it down, I know that they're already kind of warmer. So you can kind of play with it in that sense. There's the before and after on that one. This also might take a good like 16 by 9. So the thing with got some stuff. Yeah, Mark about to blow my mind again. I like a good wide shot, but I feel like there's too much going on with this shot for me. I feel like the couple's not the focus in this one, but it's hard to say. Just uploaded one. Yeah, I gotta go in and re-download all. Oh wow, y'all added a whole bunch. We got some JPEGs. Now remember, RAW files are gonna be better. JPEGs can work, but they're gonna be a little hard to edit. These right here with the X-T3, I'm gonna reset the settings since they're already edited. Default settings. Oh wow. This one's cute. What is this? James, Nikon D750 with a 50 f1.8 ISO 500. Good looking shot. Throw that natural feels on there. Auto white balance to see what it does. It's too blue. Let's suck out some of this yellow. Look at that. Get them lights looking nice and white. And then they're too blue. So we go back in and paint some warmth on them. I actually accidentally sent 7. Like, here's my whole portfolio. And so I don't do this a lot often where I'm like always painting in warmth and stuff, but don't be afraid to come in here and do something drastic. How I like sucked all the yellows out of the photo. And then just because of the lighting and stuff, I'm also gonna whiten their teeth. Because with the white balance, some of it's just coming off too yellow. And then yeah, let's add a little bit of warmth. Let's add a little bit of magenta. And yeah, there we go. That's feeling good to me. There's the before and after. Got the lights looking nice and white. This is a dope photo. Can I get a shout out to Olivia? Shout out to Olivia. If you're watching, thank you for watching, I guess. Yeah, this is a cute photo. But yeah, that was the biggest thing I did there, is I sucked the yellow out to make these lights more white, but then warm them back up, because taking out all the yellow is going to mess up their skin tones. It's a little magenta heavy, but I tend to be magenta heavy. Because actually, even when I send my photos to be edited, they come back and they're just like, there's barely any magenta on them. And I'm like, hey, y'all need to get up in there with that magenta. I guess I'm just too heavy on it. Nikon. Oh, I thought this was a Sony shot just looking at it. 1/60th, 100. Y'all got all the light. What lens is this? f1.8? It's crazy looking. The bokeh is like... I think the focus was like barely missed a little bit, or either that was handshake being at 1/60th. But you saved them highlights. See, I need to get a little bit better at saving like the background. Got all the light saved. And see, this is what I was saying about the natural fills preset. Do you see how like I did nothing to this photo? If you're getting it in camera looking good in the first place, like you pretty much don't have to edit. And that's how I wanted to make the preset, because again, I'm a wedding photographer. I'm editing thousands of photos. I need to be able to just be like, boom, 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 cool, send it out, it's fine. So it works on all camera systems, and each camera system has their own quirks. So obviously the tones are gonna look the same as my photos, but you know, like maybe Nikon has more magenta or whatever, or another brand is a little bit more warm. So that stuff will stand out, but other than that, like you're getting the same look overall. Let's check out some of these photos. So I saw it on your edit when you did this, but I would definitely as well with the upright auto. Try and make these lines more straight. Sometimes we don't get straight lines, and that's okay, it happens. Let's see, what was this? XT3 with the good old 35. But that doesn't look like it's a Fuji lens because it's not showing up here. I'd probably leave it somewhere in there. Kind of want to keep it dark and moody. And then these look all about the same, so I could just sync the settings. How do you submit? Here is the link. I feel like these photos would look good in black and white just because of the tones. Like it's a very lighting heavy. Yeah. I wanna see it in black and white. My boy rocking some Allbirds? No, I don't think so. Yeah, that black and white's hitting. Let me download this new set. Y'all over here submitting the whole world. Nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this one just works. I just sync the settings. It looks good. Those are some cool lights. I don't know what lens this is. What is this? Nikon D3400 in a good old 50 mil. Man, I could watch this all day. So fun to have on while editing too. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of watching other people edit while I edit, like really. So here's our, oops. Natural fills on Nikon. It's a little green for my taste, so magenta a bit. Like I said again, y'all, I'm pretty magenta heavy. Maybe warm it up a little bit. And it looked like, yeah, these shots are about the same, so I'm just gonna sync the settings real quick. Now the biggest thing here is it looks like this one can be warmed up some. We missed the focus a little bit, and that's probably because the shutter's at 1/100th of a second. So generally, whenever I do this and I get a shot that's like off, I'll just black and white it. I mean, that's like photographer handbook type of stuff. Ooh, it was moody. It was supposed to be out of focus. Can't you tell it's black and white? It's so artsy. Yeah, this is pretty drastic. Just seeing the white balance difference there. No one's writing anymore. They're just waiting. What's my photo next? When is it gonna edit my photo? Getting so many emails. A file has been submitted. A file has been submitted. I have to re-download some stuff real quick. Let's see. I didn't do this photo. This was Nikon D3400 50 f1.8. This is also looking kind of soft. I wonder if this is like is this a film lens or something? I'd probably crop it in. So I'm a big fan of headroom, but not of having so much ground below somebody. The lens is trash. Well, they're good photos though, so at least you know that like your photos are awesome. So that means when you ever upgrade to like a better lens, you're gonna have banger shots. So don't feel too bad at the photos being a little soft. And again, you know, when you view them online like this, you can barely tell. So I can never go do black and white even if I tried. I got severely peer pressured that black and white makes your photos like pseudo deep and moody. Really? I had never heard someone say something like that. Have you a musician you can always have on in the background while editing? I wish I had a live musician who would just play music for me. Here's the last one from this set. What am I listening to? This is a bunch of music from either Artlist or Epidemic Sound, which are both online like music delivery type services that you can use for like, you know, music that's not going to get copyright claimed on YouTube. So any song I've ever used in some of my videos, I just keep them and make a playlist of it. Because for the most part in my videos, I use the style of music that I like to listen to anyway. So I just make a playlist, and then we can sit here and chill. Warm it up a little bit. Maybe crop it in a tad. CR3, what's this, Canon something? EOS R. Mirrorless Canon. These mirrorless Canons be working too. This thing is nice and sharp. This thing is working. F4, not bad. Gotta bounce in like 10 minutes. Will this stream be up later in case you edit my submissions? Yes, this stream will be up. I'm actually about to download. Let's download some more. Let's see what we got. Apologies for the size of my CR3s. Huge files. Extract all. Uh-oh. That's not right. Love your work. Thanks for sharing via the tube. Thank you so much. There we go. Well, that's what we want to see. Import. You can ignore everything I sent from Xander Lee. I made an oopsie. So yeah, like, I don't know what that is. Let's click that off. The rest of these are looking good. I don't know what this is either. Let's try and keep some crazy stuff out of there. The rest of it looks good. Look at your boy Mark. Okay. That looks good. Import. Good stuff, y'all. So many awesome photos. So first, let me go back to the whole thing. So, first off with Mark here, these are, for me, these are always black and white photos. EOS R5, got working with that new stuff. How many megapixels is this thing? Woo, look at the dimensions. Huge files. Dang, look at the dimensions. Late to join, it's okay. Come hang out. So yeah, for me, these shots are always black and white. Always. There's no other option for me. 45 megapixel, yeah. Yeah, those nice like close-up shots, I love them as black and white. Ah, look at that background. Don't even know what it is. Canon always had like such a nice, just like easy color. I feel like their colors are just like easy. And I don't know if that makes any sense. Like they don't really lean any kind of way. They're just very like, here's a color. It looks like colors and they look fine. I almost want to say flat, but that's not what I'm trying to say. Man, these files are huge. Look at that detail. What was this shot? This one caught my eye. Sony 6400. It was the A6400. 50 mil. So good. I love how wide this is. So good. So here we are. So see again, if it stands out to me. So like I could see that from a mile away on her leg there. A little too green for me now, so as per usual, some magenta. And usually when stuff starts getting too green, it's mainly in the skin tones. Like here, this is too green to me. Like I feel like I can feel the green on her skin, which obviously is gonna happen because you're in a very green area. So like all the light reflecting off the leaves is gonna be a greenish light. But when your skin tones start getting green like that, it's too much. So magenta C brings her back. Now she looks normal. We still have all the green. If I was gonna be extra, I would cool it down some and then add warmth, because again, I like cool greens, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I think this photo looks good where it is. There's that before and after. Yeah, no problem. This is a great photo. Nice and underexposed too. You got a lot of room. That dynamic range was hitting. I probably should pull these shadows. I have a bad habit of pulling my shadows up too far. But yeah, other than whatever that was on her leg, just like a pimple or a bug bite or something. But again, like I was saying, I only clean up stuff like that if it's just like blatantly obvious. This channel is super underrated. This channel should be a million hands. Thank you so much. Maybe one day. I don't know if I can handle the pressure of having 1 million subs. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. Let's see, what do we have here? Fujifilm X-T3. 18 mil. The 18 to 55. That's a kit lens. Kit lens. All the lenses on Fujifilm are good. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm biased. So a lot of times I like to use the auto white balance as kind of like a base. So y'all saw me use it just here. It's mainly for me to be like, okay, cool. Where did Lightroom want to put it? And then do I like where Lightroom put it? And then I adjust from there. I'm gonna pull back the oranges and the HSL a little bit. Her skin's looking too orange. But I like the warmth. I don't want to pull back the warmth too much. Here's that before and after. I overslept. How much longer will you stream? Probably not too much longer. 3 hours tends to start being my max. I start like giving out and I'm like, can't stream any longer. This lighting is like doing something weird. What do you think about Capture One? So Capture One's great. It's definitely better than Lightroom. I just don't feel like I'm as fast in it. And obviously part of that could be because I don't know the program very well. But I also think that like, it just like, oh, this was Xander again. Let me get this out of here. He said ignore all the, sorry, bye-bye. Yeah, it just, for me, especially as a wedding photographer, editing fast, Capture One doesn't feel like it is able to edit fast, like bulk edit fast. But it also was weird to me that like, all the like sliders, they were so sensitive. Like Lightroom, you're just like, move the slider. And Capture One, it's like, you're sitting there like, What would you shoot with if Fuji didn't exist? I probably would be on a Canon. Thanks for editing my pic, it looks awesome. You did it so quick. Which Alex was, oh, that was this one up here. Yeah, especially with Fuji, I'm like used to the way it looks. There's still something, I don't know, I'm still feeling kind of and half on the lighting, because it almost created like two different light tones. But yeah, the new Canon stuff is definitely caught my eyes, and that's who I was with before Fuji as well. I've never really been on Nikon like that. What is this, an X-T3? So again, y'all, if you get it right in camera, your edits are gonna be much easier and quicker. These lines don't look straight to me. Yep, white balance looks good. Skin tones look good. Great photo. That's the Natural Fills preset, y'all. It is meant to help you edit fast. I think I always have a big love for Canon. The way it reads color. Yeah, I really do enjoy Canon. Like, it definitely would be what I would be shooting with. I think I added too much magenta. Hi, would you recommend the Fuji X-T3 in 2020 going forward? Yes, I would. I have the X-T4, and I tend to shoot most of my weddings still on the X-T3, so it's definitely a great camera. This stream right here is on the X-T3. Most of my shots are mainly on the X-T3. I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, this is what I try and do with my preset. I want to keep things looking fairly normal so that if you got it right in camera, you'll just be like, apply a couple of adjustments. There it is. It looks great. Let's see. What is this? Canon EOS 6D Mark II. So, you know, the 6D Mark II is actually what made me move to Fujifilm, because I shot on the 6D, just the first 6D, and I loved it. I was like in the zone. I was like, yeah, Canon 6D. And when the rumors and everything of the Mark II coming out, I was like, I really hope that they put dual slots on the 6D, because if they do that, I will stick Canon, I'll be with it. And they didn't. And then I was looking at the Mark IV, the 5D Mark IV, but it was like so expensive. And I was just like, this is so expensive. And then at that time was when my mentor was like, bro, you trying to use my Fuji? And I was like, what is this? What is this? He's like, just hold it. Just hold it in your hands. And that was the end of it. Like, the moment I held it in my hands, it was like, well, selling all my Canon gear, because it was dual card slot. It was fairly cheap. It looked good. It was small. The EVF blew my mind, which, yes, all mirrorless cameras have EVFs, but I had never used one, so I was like, yo. So I'm painting in some shadow save. They are a bit backlit, and I don't want to just overexpose and then destroy the sky, because we still have some of it in there. Is it true that Lightroom export the picture of Fujifilm more softer than Capture One? No, it is not true. You just have to know how to sharpen the right way in Lightroom. I bought the 6D Mark II and always used the 6D. The 6D was so good. I feel like Canon almost messed themselves up with the 6D. They're like, yeah, let's make an entry-level full frame. And then everyone was like, yo, this is better than the rest of y'all's full frames, and it's cheaper. There we go. So a little bit of shadow save just to bring them up in there. There's the before and after. Why do you think Fujifilm cameras are priced lower than the other brands like Canon? Probably because it's crop sensor, I would assume. Because no one, like, absolutely no one would buy Fuji if they cost more and were also crop. And again, we all have our opinions on crop sensor or not, but just looking at, you know, the business models and all that kind of stuff, it wouldn't make sense for it to be crop sensor and more expensive. That would just not make sense. What if that camera is Sony? Sony's good. I don't know why I never gravitated towards Sony. So see, now again, these shots are in the same scene. So just sync the settings over. And so the one thing that's different here is I saved the shadow on them in that one, so I could do the same thing here. Hit them off with some shadow save. But yeah, after seeing some Sony RAW files, I was definitely, I was never a fan of Sony. I think I tried to have a Sony camera like way back in the day when I was just like farting around with photography. And they had their own like proprietary SD cards or something, and that turned me off like immediately. I was like, what is this? I can't just use SD cards? And I was like, yeah, I can't do it. And ever since then, I just never looked into Sony stuff. So just expose them a little bit. So there's the before and after this one as well. Gotta jump into a meeting. See you in a bit. Yeah, Canon competes with themselves since they have a video line. Yeah, Canon, yeah, they be doing some weird stuff sometimes. Oh, this is great. What is this? Canon EOS R. Bradley. With a good old 50 mil. Great pose, great shot. Why does the XT3 want to work for this one? Weird. Is anyone trying to prove you that full frame is better than APS-C? Wait, what is this? Was the EOS R yet? Yeah. Every time I do these streams and I start editing y'all's photos and someone sends me EOS R stuff, they're mirrorless stuff that if I wasn't on Fujifilm, I would definitely be on that EOS R. I would definitely be in there. Congrats on all the success. Thank you so much. Respect from Virginia. Virginia. Good old Virginia. Yeah. Fuji photography is like using Linux. Yo, it kind of is though. And like everyone's like, what is that? Is that a film camera? No, it's okay. Canon is to Apple as Fuji is to Windows. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Oh, Bradley, that's right. You were in the same area. Oh, you know what? I probably know where this is. I have not shot here yet. Is this that park with the there's like a water thing and it has a big water wheel thing? I still feel new to the area because I've only really, like, I grew up here, but then I came back like 2 years later. Yeah, Yates, yeah. Yeah, this EOS stuff, I'm telling you, if I wasn't Fuji, I would be in there because every time I edit a RAW file from the EOS R or any of the Canon mirrorless stuff, I'm always like, okay. I feel like there's not enough magenta, but it's making her skin. No, actually, there it is. That's what I want. Again, I lean heavy on magenta. I don't like green. When I see too much green, I start being like, eh. Oh, here's a good example. Some backlit stuff. Ernest Small. I'm really feeling right now the new Canon R5. So backlit and dark skin is usually a bad combination if you don't handle, like, you know, at least a reflector or something. Because obviously when they're in shadows, it's different. Because that's a big thing a lot of photographers I see will mess up is everyone's like underexposed. But when you underexpose in darker skin, you're like losing all the detail in their skin because it's already darker. So you have to be really careful with that stuff. I'm gonna throw Shadow Save Plus on here to see if it makes a difference. And again, another tip, if you're ever working with darker skin, don't shadow save only the skin. You're gonna make some people mad because they're like, bro, you lightened my skin. Now remember, light is light, and when there's less light, things look darker. That's just how it works. But if you're only lightening the skin because you feel like you're not able to see like their faces or something, at that point you're lightening their skin. And that's kind of the middle ground there between lightening someone's skin versus being like, I'm trying to bring the shadows up. So here, I'm trying to bring the shadows up. I'm not lightening their skin because I'm trying to get more light on them in general. And so see, that's too much. So let's pull this back. That's looking more natural there. Exposure's overall good. I think there's too much magenta for once. Yeah. And let me pull back the oranges a little bit because their skin is looking a little too orange. There we go. I think that looks good. So there's your before and after. Maybe pull back these shadows a little bit. But yeah, so you see how this feels less like I'm lightening their skin and more like I was just saving the shadows. Oh, this was a JPEG? Wow, I didn't even notice. Wow, I had what? This was a JPEG? How did I have that much range to edit? It looks good. I didn't realize it was JPEG. Is this Mark again? Yeah, this is Mark. These are the shots where like I can't decide if I want them in color or black and white because I feel like it would look good as both. Canon needs to chill with them prices. That's a mortgage rate. I mean, yeah, and that's another reason why I was so drawn to Fujifilm because I was like, I was able to sell my whole like Canon kit that I had at the time and buy a full like Fujifilm kit and still have a little bit of money left over. Yeah, I feel like I want this one in black and white. Create virtual copy. If y'all don't ever use the quick develop, y'all need to get in there. Quick develop be the truth. Oh, I don't know which ones work on this one though. Cause yeah, when I was able to sell like my whole kit and have money left over, I was like, well, dang. It's lighter, it's cheaper, and it's just as good. I was like, cool, I'm about it. And then I was basically Team Fuji. Okay, what do y'all think? Black and white or color? What are y'all feeling like? I uploaded a raw. Okay, that last photo was saying it was JPEG. Black and white, color. How y'all feel? Who y'all leaning towards? Wow, y'all still over here submitting. I got mad people submitting. Color, both. Black and white. It's always hard to tell. I like a good like reception photo but in black and white. I don't know why. Yeah, they definitely both have their own little thing going on. Let's go back here to the top. CR2, what is this? Oh, EOS R5. Yeah, these Canon mirrorless cameras are definitely, they're doing some work. And the files are really clean too. Dynamic range is kind of ridiculous. Pretty good. Pretty good, Canon. There's the before and after of this one. Again, natural fills with the nearly one click. Yeah, that's what I feel like I see more of everything happening when it's not black and white. If you weren't a photographer, what would you be doing? So I was doing audio post-production before I started doing photography, but I stopped doing that. Honestly, I don't know what I would be doing if I was not doing photography. I probably would have veered back into music again. I'm trying to actually get back in there now and do some more music stuff. Maybe at some point that'll happen. We'll see. Let's give this an auto. Yep, to make sure it's all the way straight. This is a RAF. What we working with? XT4. Got that new. Come on. And there we go, before and after. Yeah, since natural fills, like, it works on everything, but it was specifically, I made it with Fuji. Like, it's a pretty quick edit, especially, again, if you got the exposure looking good in camera. It's literally like, here's my preset, fix the exposure, yay. Because again, the point was for wedding photography editing. Like, I wanted this stuff to be quick. EOS 70D with the nifty 50. Who is this? Franklin. Awesome. This is a JPEG. So the colors will be a little hard to work with. I think it's too magenta, but yeah, it's gonna... Oh wait, what's happening? Let's pull back these oranges a little bit. Oh, nice. You work in radio? Yeah, I was doing... Oh, yeah. I was basically not in radio, but I was doing the audio post-production. So, like, we did a lot of radio commercials and things like that, but we were mainly doing commercials overall. Was this Mark again? Oh, no. This is the same. This was also the EOS R. The new EOS 5S, not R5, said to be 90 megapixels. Woo! That's on that GFX 100 level. That's gonna be my goal, y'all. At some point, I'm gonna own a GFX 100. Yeah, Bradley, this is a great shot, man. So good. Your work in editing photos is amazing. Thank you so much. ARW is what, Nikon something? Already it's looking too green for my liking, so pop some magenta in there. Maybe warm it up a tad. I like it. Okay, I think I'm gonna hit one more set and then I'm gonna have to jump off of here. So let me see. Y'all have been submitting some more. Yeah, there's a couple more. Let's see what we have. While we wait, let's pull some of these. Uh-oh, what'd I do? Capture time. Look at that, y'all. Great work. These photos look so good. Oh, y'all be submitting too fast. I can't keep up. Thanks for keeping us measured. Hey, why you working with Lightroom Classic and not with CC? CC is, so first off, I'm just used to Classic. I've been using Classic since the get. CC is like the new version. CC is fine, and it can do just as much, and honestly, I think they're gonna get rid of Classic at some point. But I'm more used to Classic, and it also, I feel like, works a little bit better than CC. So as of right now, I'm still on Classic. There's still stuff that CC can't totally do just yet. All right. Here we go with another import. Oh, some of these shots are really good. Oh, I see. There's a D&G version. There's a couple newer D&G versions. Also working in Classic. Yeah, CC is, it's cool. It's just, it's missing out some stuff. Because I use it on my iPad. That's all there is, and it's fine. Is there any news if iPad Pros will get a better Photoshop update with editing capabilities? I just purchased one for my friend. Suburban can't be used for some. Yeah. That Photoshop, I don't know what they were doing with Photoshop, because Lightroom is much more full-featured. Photoshop is on some whole other. I haven't heard any news, but Adobe Max is happening, it's like October 10th or 20th or something. So hopefully there'll be some new news there or something. This shot is awesome. ARW, so what, Nikon? Oh no, that's Sony. Wow. Sorry guys, I don't know my file names. This song is too much for me sometimes. Let's see what auto balance. Yep, auto white balance wants to do, and it's pretty good. So again, you see how they're looking kind of green, too much green. So let's pump some magenta in there until their skin feels normal, which is about here. And I might cool it down just a bit. That feels about good. Well, that feels good to me. So there's the before and after. Joy Studio, hello, welcome to the stream. Come on, Lightroom. There you go. Oh, y'all hear the landscapers? Sorry, I hope it's not too loud. Good old landscapers. They're my favorite. Especially when I'm trying to record a video. Oh, he has a friend too. There's two of them. I'm so sorry. I'm about to mute myself real quick. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is a gorgeous shot. I feel like something weird is happening. Oh, this is good old Fuji 23-1 for something. It's like not straight or something. Yeah, there we go. Awesome, beautiful shot. I love that house in the back there. It looks really cool. When I was filming last week, this school's landscapers came. Not sure why, because that was the day the hurricane hit. They're like, we have to do the yard work right now. It has to happen. This looks like it's from the same session. So we still got Fuji. I didn't see which camera this was. I should have looked. Hey John, last week I borrowed my friend's X-T4 and now I'm sure I want to make the swap to Fuji. But I'm not sure on what lenses to get. Do you like shooting prime lenses mainly? Or do you like zoom lenses, or does it matter? Here goes the CR2 version of this one. Let's see if it makes a difference. Nope, it's about the same. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. CR2, and you can kind of tell the difference, but crazy. ARW, some good old Sony. Thinking of getting the 23 f2 and the 56 one too, but not sure if I should get the f2 primes instead of the 56. Well, so first off, getting a 23 and a 56, that's a great team of lenses. Just with those two, you should be set to take on like nearly anything. So if you are thinking about getting both, I would say go ahead and do it. I'm more biased towards the f2 lenses just because the prices are nice and they still look just as good. I shoot weddings on the f2 lenses, and that's not a problem at all for me, so. I think someone, who's this, a bang? Let me see, where are your photos at? Here goes Alex again. Good old Sony. Actually, no. What am I talking about? This is a RAF. Yay! Fujifilm. So again, with skin retouching, the only time I really get in here and retouch is if it just stands out a little too much. Because for the most part, I like to keep people looking how they look. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to retouch you so hard that you're like, I don't even look like that. That's like not good for anyone's self-esteem or anything. Why do you personally love the 35 f2 over the 23 f2? The 23 f2, like, sometimes it doesn't focus right. There's something about it that's a little off, in my opinion, from what I've used it. And then on top of that, the 35 gives me that like portrait bokeh that I like. You know, the 23 is a wide shot, so I like it. And then at 23, it's not gonna be as much of a background blur at all. There you go, just clean it up a little bit, nothing crazy. Keep her looking natural. But no one wants any like little bit of pimples or any, no one wants that. I'm on an EOS R with the 2870 f2. What'd you think about it? I mean, the EOS R, them things are, yet again, we've said it in the stream. If I wasn't on Fujifilm, I would definitely be eyeing Canon. I think it's, is it 2 magenta? Yep, it was. I have a hard time spotting if it's 2 magenta because I love magenta so much. Oh, cool. This is that same. With an open field like this, sometimes it's hard to get ideas for how you want to shoot stuff. That's where I start doing like walking shots. That's kind of what I use those for, to give me some kind of different something if I'm in a place where like it's just an open field and I feel like I'm not, like I have nothing to shoot. Let me see if I can find an example for y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find one real quick. Yeah, I don't know. I have so many weddings. It's like hard to remember sometimes what was what and when. Here we go. So like when I start having open fields and like there's not much to do, I start trying to do stuff like walking shots and making it wide, so that I'm not sitting on the same like couple of poses. And it gives like a big, you know, you can see the differentiation between like, here's a wide shot of like everything and then here's like a close one. Yeah, and then I would probably shadow save this again. Just jumping back into photography and found your channel. My Sony A6400 just got here. Awesome. Excited to relearn. Jump in there. Jump in there and do it. Where can I get your presets? I had the link. Oh, is my thing still working? Is it back now? Preset. Nope, that's not a thing. Here's the preset. Y'all can check it out at this link. Oh, it just did it. How do I submit my photo? I am just about done, so actually, yeah, I'm gonna make a new link, because I'm about done with editing, and I gotta handle some other business. As a wedding photographer, you always have people getting in touch with you. You gotta make sure they're good to go. I also have a meeting with a couple later on today. Oh, nice. Yeah, one of these shots definitely has to be black and white. Ooh, the XH1. Yeah, with all the highlight contrastiness, black and white. Definitely. Definitely black and white. There's the final image on this one. I just, with all of the shadows. We can try a color one too though, because this blue and stuff is nice. Let's try a color one. This one though I want to see in color, and I want to crop in on it just a bit. Good stuff. Thank you for your time. Love your channel. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, y'all. This is good stuff. I love seeing other people's photos. I just did photo critiques for the Portrait Masters live workshop. It was fun stuff. What we got here? CR2. What's that? Good old 6D. Hello, my friend. Old friend, I miss you. Let's change this to auto. Yep, that's fine, and I think it's fine. White balance is good. Yeah, nothing feels bad. Maybe pull back the oranges a little bit. I'm new to this. Are you editing your own images or those are others? These are other people's photos. So these are, a lot of people in the chat submitted their photos and I'm just editing other people's photos. I was editing my photos earlier, but I started editing other people's photos. Look at these cuties. This is also a RAF. Let's see, what is it? What? It's not a 6D. Yeah, don't lie to me. XT4 and a 23f1.4. Thanks, I really like your preset. And what do you use in your lighting? Are we talking about the lighting like in my room right now? I have a couple, most of this is just room light. So yeah, this photo was way too magenta, and that's something I kind of notice sometimes. The XT4 seems like it has much more magenta in it. Warm it up just a tad. Awesome, thank you for joining. There we go. So just clean that up a bit. You can even see it over here. It's just so magenta. Which do you prefer more, shooting or editing? Or another part of the whole photography business? I don't know. I think the process kind of goes together, because I have this really bad habit of like when I am actually shooting, I tend to not like my work. This is a great shot. I want to see this one in black and white too. We're gonna do color first though. So on the session or like at the wedding, unless I know I took banger shots, a lot of times I'm like, that wedding didn't really go as well as I wanted it to. I feel like I didn't get any good shots. Oh no, I'm such a bad photographer. And then when I start editing, I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. I'm like, yes, that's actually pretty good. But it takes me having to edit to see it. So editing and shooting kind of go together for me. Because without one of the parts, I just don't like it. I'll be like, yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, I think it's kind of both. I don't think there's one over the other. The only reason I don't ever like editing is when it's like a wedding and I have like, you know, all the photos. But you know, like the couple portraits and all the fun stuff I get to shoot, I immediately edit those. I love those shots. But then when it gets to just like, you know, the normal parts of a wedding, it's kind of like, okay, let's edit real quick. Yeah, y'all, if you want to talk about someone who stresses their photos after a wedding, I do it every time. Every time. I'll come back home from a wedding and my wife will be like, hey, how'd the wedding go? And I'm always like, I don't know. It's okay, I guess. The photos were and then I edit, and then I always do that, like I like pick a bunch of the photos like this and I put them in like this view and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. But it's only after I edit. Beforehand, I'll be like, I don't like anything. Like, why am I so bad? I'm telling y'all, if y'all watched my interview with Omar and me saying like it took me 5 years to get a preset that I liked the look of it, I'm telling you, it's for real. I did not like my work at all. What's happening here? Not enough magenta? Something? Not enough warmth? These are so good, y'all. These are so good. I'm exactly the same. I actually am too scared to look at it, the images. Yeah, it really, it gets me every time. I didn't shadow save on them. I pushed the exposure and then darkened the sky a bit. Oh, nice. Which is basically about the same result, because what we're both trying to do in those shots is, instead of, we just don't want to kill the sky, you know? So we're finding a way to try and save the sky. For me, it's a little bit easier just to shadow save, but that's usually the approach that I like to take. That's basically like always the approach I take. It's just to shadow save on the couple. And I think the way I shoot kind of lends itself to shadow saving. So I'm a big fan of taking that approach towards it. Your edit looks more dramatic. Oh, nice. Other than Brenizer, do you do any other tricks? Not really. The Brenizer is my main like trick shot. The only other thing I kind of ever do, which is a post thing, is with these wide shots in exposure X4, you can add like almost a tilt shift look. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it's kind of like a tilt shift look on this photo. I do that pretty often on my wide shots. So like this one, it's another example, kind of like tilt shift look. This one does not have it. I don't think I did it on these shots yet. Thanks for the editing. My comments came in late. Let's talk about the middle of the road shot. Oh yeah. So how do I submit photos for the next time? I'm going to make sure you follow the channel. I'm gonna post like a, you know how you can do community posts or whatever? I'm gonna post there and do a link to that. And then I'll also schedule out the live stream where I edit y'all stuff, so y'all can like know that I'm gonna do it and at least try and catch it. Is that edited to look like tilt shift? Yes, that's edited to look like, so that's all in post. I can actually, while I'm making my way off, which these shots are great. These are probably all my favorite portrait shots that y'all submitted. Good stuff. I think y'all, let's see if there's a good shot that would work for the tilt shift. They usually have to be wide shots. Oh yeah, like this one. This one's perfect. So let me export this real quick. So if I was exporting this to be delivered, I export as JPEG. And again, if y'all didn't notice, the way I do, this is what's different between a natural fills preset. So the color tones and all that is the same. The way I export and sharpen is what's different from what is actually on the natural fills preset. So I made a special sharpening in the natural fills preset and its own grain. And that's nothing, if you use the preset and you don't like the grain, just go down to the bottom here under effects and you can turn the grain off. So here's the natural fills. This needs to be auto. And there's no sharpening on this whatsoever. And now I'm gonna export it. I'm gonna export it as JPEG, 100% quality. I'm not gonna resize to fit it. Resolution is gonna be 300. That's delivery. I'm delivering this to my clients so that they're able to print it and stuff. Screen sharpening is set to low. And then after it exports, it's gonna open up in exposure. I just shot my first wedding and edited it with your preset. It's amazing. Awesome. I submitted, but I think I just missed the edit train by a few. Oh no, I'm sorry. So here we go, final photo. It has a little bit of sharpening on it now. Just the screen sharpening that Lightroom does as it comes out. And then I have a special sharpening and grain preset here in exposure that I'll apply to the JPEG. So I sharpen on the JPEG stage. And it almost over sharpens stuff, but it looks good when you're not like pixel peeping it. After that, they have this option called bokeh. And from here, I can pick like the lines, and this is where the tilt shift look is gonna be. So I come in, pick my fake tilt shift. This is a little heavy, so I can turn this down just a bit so it looks a little more natural. And then these dotted lines show me how far like the actual area that's not blurry versus the blurry area. I generally will put the center right around where my subject is, and then I pull it out wide enough so just kind of like a bit of the bottom and top are blurred. You don't want it to look too extra, because then it looks kind of fake. If you've ever used the tilt shift lens in this way, there's a very specific look it gives. And so this would be the final photo with just a little bit of blur. It works very well on wide shots like this. Anything that's not wide and it starts looking like wonkadonk, or you need to buy an actual tilt shift lens. How did you learn to edit? Are you self-taught? I am self-taught. So again, I majored in music production and sound design. So I had been doing music and audio editing, and I don't know what it is, but it's very similar to photo editing. It's not similar. I don't know. Just being in the mindset of editing, it made sense. And then after that, it was just all learning, like learning the applications to be able to edit stuff. So yeah, like this photo, if I wanted to export it, so I wouldn't put tilt shift on it, but again, my export process is JPEG 100% quality, resize to fit, no, resolution 300, screen sharpening low, open in exposure. Is it a plugin or standalone software? It's a standalone software, but it can work in conjunction with Lightroom. So technically you could just edit your whole photos in exposure, but I only use it for its sharpening and grain because its grain is so good. I don't think I've seen any other programs that do grain as well as exposure. So there's my sharpening preset. And I don't know if you saw, it added a little bit of contrast. like the tiniest bit of contrast. There's without, there's with. You can see it more in the dress. Here's without. See, no grain, no contrast. And then that would be the finished product. To look at the sharpening again, here's without, here's with. Get them edges crispy. I have a different grain and sharpening for black and whites. I like my black and whites like super grainy, almost like film. So like this shot here, if I were to export it. So again, same thing, same settings. But since it's a black and white, when I go to actually put my preset on it, you'll see I have this black and white sharpening, which adds a pretty drastic amount of contrast and then also heavy grain. So you can see the grain there, just like super heavy grain. Denise, hello. Hi. I was just about to end the stream. I'm so sorry. No, the timing. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you all enjoyed watching me edit some of your photos. And again, this live stream is going to be live on YouTube. It's going to be there living, so feel free to come back, watch it again. Send it to some friends. Oh, my photo was edited. And yeah, thank you again for watching. I'm almost at 50K, which is exciting. I want to do something cool for it. Maybe a giveaway, maybe a live shoot, something. I don't know though, so, you know, if you have any cool ideas, let me know. But other than that, thank you all for hanging out again, and I will catch you next time. And I'll try to start scheduling out my live streams a little bit more so y'all can actually catch it. So, sorry, bad habit, you did just miss it. I'm heading out now. Y'all have a good day, and I will catch you next time. All right, peace.